I want to talk about two things in this video. Well, first I'm going to give you an update on the Electoral College. And this is a map I've been using, or a poll website that I've been using. And it looks like this is the most recent projections. And really nothing has changed. The blue, the leaning Obama, still leaning Obama. The leaning McCain are still. I don't see any change since the last time, from the last map that I showed you. Now, there's some disagreement with the other maps, and I might do a whole nother video on all the different projections. But this video, let me tell you, this is going to be mostly on Michael Moore's, well, on the Senate seats that the Democrats might be able to pick up this time. These are possible Democrat pickup Senate seats, because a lot of Republican senators just hung it up. They quit. There are a lot of open seats, and there are a lot of Democrats who are really contesting and raising money, and the Democratic Party has woken up, has awakened, and they have awakened, and now they're really taking these things seriously, whereas in the past they've just written them off as Republican held as solid. So Michael Moore, there's his book, his new book. It's a paperback. It's interesting, fun reading, easy reading. You can get right through it. At the very end, he lists 12 possible Senate pickup seats for the Democrats. Okay, let me go to the first one he mentions would be Colorado. And that would be the Democrat running against the Republican, and the Republican is not an incumbent. The Democrat running is Mark Udall. And you older folks, you old timers like me, might remember that name Udall. It's a pretty famous name out west. By the way, the Udalls are kind of associated with environmentalism and preserving the national park system, etc. You know, environmentalism. Republicans couldn't care less about it, preserving the environment. They just assume pollute the environment. Well, and I've got two Udalls now. The other that's Mark Udall in Colorado. Then in New Mexico. And I'm doing this, I'm just doing fancy little junk to zooming in. It's not that good. My machine isn't that good. But I'm trying to zoom into New Mexico. And there is another Udall. It's Tom Udall running for the Senate in New Mexico. And he has a good shot against the Republican. And I don't believe there's no Republican incumbent because Pete Domenici in New Mexico retired. Wait, and let me go back to Colorado. I think there is an incumbent in Colorado. His name is Allard, but he's new, and I'll bet a lot of people in Colorado don't even know his name. Well, I don't know. I'm being too cynical. Okay, next up in the Senate races would be, what am I focusing in on? Oregon. Okay, Oregon. Well, see, I didn't focus in very well, but Oregon there in the left, in the northwest. There is a good candidate, a liberal, progressive, liberal, whatever you want to call him. He wants to get out of the war in Iraq. His name is Merkley. I know because he's in this group of Democratic candidates that are called Responsible Plan for Withdrawal from Iraq. So he's a good fellow. He is running up against an incumbent in Oregon, but Oregon is a good area, it's a blue state, so the Democrats should be able to put on a good campaign, and maybe we can pick up a seat there and get a good liberal Democrat in. Now, where am I going to? I guess I'm going to Maine. Is that why I've got this? Yes, Maine. Okay, Maine, there's a fellow running for the Senate Democrat named Tom Allen. And he is running against, he's running against the incumbent Republican Collins, but Maine is strongly, let's say blue and Democrat. They on the local level, they vote Republican from I guess, out of tradition, but they've really become a blue state. And so the Democrats could pick up that seat, that Senate seat, if the Democrats and liberals actually vote for the Democratic candidate. And I think Tom Allen is also an anti-war. He is an anti-war candidate, member of that group called Responsible Plan Group. Okay, where do I go next? Alaska. Okay, hold on here. Okay, you know the situation in Alaska. Ted Stevens, the senator there, has just been indicted. By the way, Ted Stevens is a very old guy. I think he's 84, but he's got the other problem. Another problem is he's just been indicted and he's going to trial. He's going to trial for failing to report gifts. So the trial is going to go on during amazingly, this is going to be fun, people. The trial of Ted Stevens is going to go on right before the election. So the Democrats, if they don't screw it up, and that's the other problem with the Democrats, they screw elections. They don't have Karl Rove people. They don't have people that are good at stealing elections, at putting out false information and putting negative campaigning and all that stuff. So if the Democrats can just get through it without putting their foot in their mouth or tripping over themselves, they might pick up a red state in the Senate. It's been, I don't know how long Alaska's been red for the Republicans in the Senate. They might be able to beat Ted Stevens, who's going through trial and is under indictment. And of course, you know that the Republicans have a kind of a cesspool of corruption. Yeah, there's no difference between the two parties, of course, but there's a cesspool of corruption in Alaska, basically run by Republicans, and it's not just local. It's not just local. It's in the House of Representatives because they were building bridges to nowhere. You remember the bridges to nowhere? Yeah, the bridges to nowhere in Alaska, and Ted Stevens and Lisa Murkowski and the inner tubes, internet, blah, 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 blah. Listen, I don't want to make this video too long. It looks like I'm already going over. I mentioned some other candidates for the Senate. I think I'll put them in the box. Oklahoma, we could pick up something. North Carolina, we could pick up a Senate seat, according to Michael Moore, of course. Kentucky, wow, we're getting down into that red state area. Kentucky, and then get this, folks, Mississippi, Ronnie Musgrove. That name is vaguely familiar, but Ronnie Musgrove, Democrat running against, he's got a shot of beating a Republican in Mississippi. That's because the Republicans have so screwed up everything. And Katrina, of course, they've screwed up monumentally. Okay, this video is already too long. Okay, you guys, if you're still awake, I'm done. Wait, let me plug the Michael Moore book one more time. It's called The Mike's Election Guide. It's paperback. It's $9 at Amazon.com. It's easy reading, light reading, yeah, you know Michael Moore. He's cool. He's got it together. He knows what he's. Yeah, it's easy book to. It's fun reading. He's a pretty good writer. Okay.